return to Raleigh County. And there's some rejoicing in the city of Beckley today after the official grand opening of the new Salvation Army facility there. As our Galen Markham explains, it's taken 2 years to bring that multi-million-dollar project to life on Robert C. Byrd Drive.
After 15 years of planning, 2 years of nonstop construction, and countless hours of prayer from those involved, the all-new state-of-the-art Beckley Salvation Army opened its doors to the public on Friday. The facility's commanding officer says construction alone has already totaled $7 million, with some final projects to be completed. And with the demolition of the lot's former building, this project has easily taken $10 million to come to fruition.
We have top-of-the-line everything, the best technology, the best internet service. We're going to have music classes, a huge kitchen that is state-of-the-art, where we will be able to feed breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We'll be able to operate in times of disaster and flooding. And so we've really spared no expense to make this something that will hopefully last even longer than our last building, which was there for 84 years.
That old building has sat on Beckley's South Fayette Street since 1938. And while it served the people of this community as best it could, it just couldn't keep up with the times.
The old one was just way out of date. It just did not fit today's lifestyle, today's people, and the way it works with these programs that we have. This really fits perfectly on how we can be an outreach to the community.
This new facility is prepared to feed hundreds out of its kitchen, welcome dozens of students to the county's first ever after-school Boys and Girls Club, and help provide utility assistance to struggling individuals across 7 counties. All facts that caught the eye of West Virginia gubernatorial candidate Mark Capito, who attended Friday's celebration.
And we know it's all about community. All across West Virginia, that's what's really common about every single part of this state, is that we have strong communities, and this is a shining example of that.
A majority of the facility's funding was supported through the West Virginia CARES Act fund, but local foundations also stepped up to help. A large contributor to the project was the Klein family, and on Friday, the facility was named in honor of Chris and Cameron Klein, who died in a helicopter crash in 2019. Their family says the father and daughter would be proud of the work the Beckley Salvation Army has done and will continue to do. Here for you in Beckley, I'm Galen Markham, WVVA News.
Thank you for that story, Galen. The Beckley Salvation Army's Boys and Girls Club for school-age children will start on Monday. We're posting more about that program and the other programs offered by Salvation Army on our website.